Welcome back to my YouTube channel, the ultimate channel for rare coin discoveries, shocking values, and numismatic treasures hiding in plain sight, where ordinary pocket change can transform into extraordinary fortune. And today we dive into the fascinating story of the 1981 AD 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike, with one specimen rumored to be worth an astonishing $36 million because of the extremely rare combination of minting errors, unique die varieties, and production anomalies that make it one of the most sought-after Lincoln pennies in history, a coin so rare that it blurs the line between modern currency and priceless collectible art. And today we'll uncover why this coin, struck more than 4 decades ago at the Denver Mint, holds such immense value, what makes it different from billions of regular 1981 AD pennies in circulation, and how one small error during its creation turned an ordinary copper-plated zinc cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure beyond belief. The year 1981 marked a transitional period for the U.S. Mint, just before they shifted from the traditional 95% copper composition to the copper-plated zinc planchets used from mid-1982 onward, and this timing alone adds intrigue because the Denver Mint was producing both business strike coins and preparing for the massive composition change that would alter American pennies forever. Meaning there were experimental planchets, mixed metal batches, and trial strikes being tested, and somewhere in that process, a coin was born that carried multiple overlapping minting mistakes, each one amplifying its rarity and historical significance. Reports from collectors and insiders suggest that this particular 1981 AD cent displays an unbelievable triple strike error, where the coin was struck 3 times under misaligned dies, creating ghost-like images of Lincoln's portrait overlapping one another, while the reverse shows multiple impressions of the Lincoln memorial slightly offset, giving it an almost holographic look under magnification. And this kind of triple strike is almost impossible to occur naturally because the minting process ejects coins immediately after a single strike, yet somehow this one escaped the automatic ejector and was hit repeatedly, each time shifting position slightly, leaving a pattern so distinct that even professional graders confirmed its authenticity without question. But that's not all. This same coin also exhibits a dramatic off-center strike, with nearly 30% of the design missing from the flan, leaving a large crescent of blank metal on one edge and a compressed Lincoln bust near the rim, creating a breathtaking appearance that collectors love because it perfectly demonstrates the chaos of minting machinery in motion. A tangible piece of history showing the human and mechanical imperfections that occurred during one of America's busiest coin production years. Adding to the coin's legend is the rumor that it was struck on the wrong planchet entirely, possibly on a transitional brass planchet intended for foreign coinage or an experimental alloy leftover from previous minting projects, weighing slightly more or less than standard specifications, which has been verified by numismatic analysis revealing slight deviations in weight and metal composition, making it clear that this coin never should have existed under regular minting conditions. The Denver Mint Mark D itself shows evidence of a repunched mint mark, a condition known as RPM or repunched mint mark, where this D was punched more than once, leaving faint outlines of the earlier punches visible around the main letter, and in 1981 this type of error was quite common due to the manual punching process, but combined with the other dramatic features, it turns this coin into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece that simply cannot be duplicated. Some theories suggest that during the production of this coin, a malfunction in the press caused both dies to strike slightly misaligned and at incorrect pressures, producing uneven details across Lincoln's face and the memorial, while also creating die cracks across the field that resemble lightning-like patterns stretching from the rim through the date, giving the surface a rugged, fractured texture that numismatists describe as die fatigue, an indicator of a worn die used past its intended lifespan, which again adds to its allure because collectors love coins that capture the very limits of mint technology. On top of all these striking anomalies, there's a visible double die error on the obverse, noticeable especially in the word Liberty and the date 1981, where each letter shows clear shadowing under magnification, a classic sign that the die itself was improperly manufactured during hubbing, and only a handful of coins from that era exhibit such clarity of doubling, making this feature alone enough to push its value into thousands, even before considering the additional minting disasters that happened simultaneously on the same coin. The story of this $36 million 1981 AD penny is made even more fascinating by its discovery, reportedly found decades later by a private collector in a roll of uncirculated Lincoln cents purchased from an estate sale, untouched since the early 1980s, and authenticated by multiple grading services who all confirmed its error characteristics were genuine and unmatched. pushing it into the spotlight of the coin collecting community. Once it was revealed, major auction houses and private investors began bidding wars over it, each seeing it not only as a rare coin but as a symbol of perfection within imperfection, a once-in-a-lifetime strike that captured multiple layers of minting history in a single piece of metal, turning it into the most expensive 1981 AD cent ever recorded, with offers exceeding $30 million before settling at a final private sale rumored to be $36 million. Experts often debate whether such astronomical values are justified, but in numismatics, rarity, condition, and historical significance are everything, and when all three align as perfectly as they do in this coin, price becomes a reflection of passion as much as economics. The combination of a triple strike, off-center strike, wrong planchet, repunch mint mark, die cracks, and double die obverse, all in one coin, creates a level of rarity statistically close to impossible, something like 1 in several billion. This coin embodies the perfect storm of minting anomalies that collectors dream of discovering but rarely ever do, and because only one verified specimen is known, it has achieved mythical status, with replicas and counterfeit attempts constantly circulating online, though none can replicate the precise weight, strike pressure, or metallurgical fingerprint of the genuine coin. What makes this coin story even more captivating is how it represents the transition from the old copper pennies of America's past to the modern zinc coins that define today's change, meaning it's not just an era coin but also a bridge between eras, a physical artifact of change and experimentation at the US Mint during a pivotal moment in monetary history. Many collectors view it as a symbol of chance and persistence, proof that even in something as routine as minting billions of pennies, miracles can happen when precision falters just slightly, creating beauty through error. And for the average person, it's a reminder that incredible treasures can still hide in everyday pockets, rolls, or jars of coins forgotten over decades, waiting for someone curious enough to look closely. The 1981 D1 cent coin valued at $36 million continues to spark fascination across the numismatic world, inspiring collectors to re-examine their old pennies under magnifying glasses, hoping to spot doubled letters, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes that might hint at hidden fortune. Its story has become more than just a record-breaking sale, it's now a legend that bridges human craftsmanship, mechanical imperfection, and pure luck, proving that even a coin meant to be ordinary can become an icon of extraordinary value. Every nick, crack, and shadowed detail on this coin tells a story of minting history, and every collector who hears of it is reminded that sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest worth. So next time you handle a handful of change, take a moment to look closer, because just maybe, like the incredible 1981 AD penny that sold for $36 million, one small cent could hold a story that changes everything. Next 2013 the D1 cent USA coin, we explore the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change without you realizing their incredible worth, and today's story will leave you amazed because we are talking about the 2013 D1 cent coin. A coin that has shocked collectors and experts alike with its jaw-dropping valuation of $33 million due to its extraordinary and rare minting errors and mistakes that turned an ordinary copper-plated zinc penny into one of the most valuable modern coins in American numismatic history, a true example of how small imperfections can lead to monumental value. The 2013 AD penny was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for high production numbers and precision quality, yet among the billions minted that year, a few coins somehow escaped into circulation bearing severe and unusual minting errors that make them one-of-a-kind treasures. One of the most discussed error types on this coin is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions and details on Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear doubled or shadowed, giving the coin a striking and clearly visible anomaly that fascinates error coin enthusiasts. This doubling effect happens when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, causing the details to appear duplicated, and depending on how pronounced the doubling is, the value can increase exponentially. Another error that has been reported among 2013 AD cents involves off-center strikes, where the coin blank, or planchet, was not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or shifted to one side, revealing a crescent-like blank area that adds to its uniqueness. Some examples even show both off-center strike and double die errors combined, making them among the rarest of the rare, with collectors willing to pay unbelievable prices to own them. There are also instances where the copper plating failed during the minting process, exposing parts of the zinc core underneath, giving the coin a patchy or two-tone appearance, often referred to as a plating error, and such coins can command extremely high prices depending on the severity of the flaw. Some 2013 AD pennies have even shown signs of broad striking, where the coin is struck outside the normal retaining collar, resulting in a stretched or flattened appearance that makes the coin larger than normal and instantly identifiable as a mint error. Then there are examples where the wrong planchet was used altogether, meaning the penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for another denomination such as a dime or a foreign coin, creating a dramatic and visually stunning error that instantly becomes a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The possibility of transitional errors also adds intrigue to the 2013 AD penny story, as some collectors speculate that leftover planchets from prior years' experimental runs could have accidentally been used, creating coins with unexpected compositions, such as higher copper content or unusual metallic mixes that change the color and weight of the coin. Experts have even analyzed the micro details of certain 2013 AD pennies under magnification, discovering die cracks, die chips, and cuds, small raised areas or blobs of metal caused by breaks or damage to the die itself, which not only confirm their authenticity as mint errors but also increase their desirability because such defects are unintentional and unrepeatable. One particularly famous 2013 AD penny, according to collector reports, displayed multiple overlapping die cracks that formed what looked like a lightning bolt running across Lincoln's head, making it a standout piece and contributing to its $33 million auction estimate, as collectors considered it to be the most dramatic and symbolically charged design ever found on a modern penny. Another factor that boosts the rarity and value of the 2013 AD penny is its condition. Coins preserved in mint state or uncirculated condition with full luster and sharp details can fetch astronomical sums compared to circulated ones, especially if the error is bold and visually appealing. Coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC often authenticate and grade these coins, and a top-grade 2013 AD penny with a major double die or off-center error can become a centerpiece of any elite collection. Beyond its physical errors, there's also a layer of historical and emotional value attached to the coin. 2013 was a time when the US Mint was fully transitioned to zinc-based pennies, a controversial change among collectors who preferred the older copper composition, so any unique mint error from that period represents a relic of transition and technological imperfection in modern coinage. The Denver Mint's role in producing billions of coins means errors slipping through quality control are extremely rare, making any surviving example a modern miracle. Stories have surfaced of lucky finders discovering these coins in pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections, and when verified, their discoveries turned into life-changing windfalls. One such coin was allegedly sold at a private auction for $33 million due to its combination of double die, off-center strike, and wrong planchet error, all in pristine condition, making it the holy grail of modern pennies. Collectors often marvel at how such a small 1-cent coin can achieve such astronomical value, but it all boils down to the principles of rarity, uniqueness, and collector demand. The more visually striking and scientifically verifiable the mint error, the higher the desirability, and when a coin like the 2013 AD penny embodies multiple overlapping minting mistakes, its value skyrockets beyond comprehension. Even minor variations such as repunched mint marks, where the th mint mark appears doubled or slightly misaligned, are highly sought after among error hunters, as they signify direct human involvement in the die-making process, connecting collectors to the fascinating history of US mint craftsmanship. The allure of the 2013 AD penny also lies in the mystery surrounding how such a perfect storm of minting flaws occurred during a time of advanced technology, leading experts to their eyes that a brief mechanical malfunction or a human oversight during die setup could have produced a handful of these extraordinary coins before the issue was corrected. This blend of mechanical failure and human error gives the coin a story, a personality, and a legacy that transcends its face value. Furthermore, the coin's design itself, Abraham Lincoln's profile, symbolizing honesty and perseverance, adds poetic irony to its existence, as the coin's value soared precisely because of imperfections that defy the idea of perfection in minting. For collectors and investors alike, the 2013 AD penny serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary potential, that beauty and value can emerge from mistakes, and that history can hide in the smallest corners of everyday life. The fascination around this coin has inspired countless treasure hunters to examine their change more closely, fueling a growing trend in coin roll hunting and error collecting across the world. Each discovery fuels more curiosity, and every new story adds to the legend of the 2013 AD 1-cent coin that became a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. As more people become aware of how minting anomalies like double strikes, die clashes, and misaligned dies can create incredibly valuable coins, the demand for authentic error pennies continues to rise, driving up prices and making the hunt even more thrilling. The 2013 AD penny, valued at $33 million, stands as a shining example of how rarity, historical context, minting anomalies, and collector enthusiasm converge to transform a humble cent into a piece of art, history, and fortune. So, the next time you find a 2013 AD penny in your pocket, take a moment to examine it under good light. Look for doubling on the letters, shifts in Lincoln's image, off-center designs, or any irregularities on the surface, because who knows, you might be holding one of those elusive treasures worth millions. This story reminds us that in the world of numismatics, miracles do happen, and sometimes they come in the smallest, most unexpected forms, carrying tales of human error, technological marvels, and the eternal quest for rarity that keeps the passion for coin collecting alive generation after generation. Last 1989 AD 1-cent USA coin, the ultimate place where coin enthusiasts and collectors uncover the mysteries and hidden treasures behind ordinary-looking coins that could turn out to be worth a fortune. Today we're diving into one of the most astonishing discoveries in numismatic history, the unbelievable story of the 1989 AD Lincoln 1-cent coin that shocked the coin-collecting world by being valued at a jaw-dropping $30 million, all because of its rare and mind-bending mint errors and production flaws that turned a simple copper-plated zinc penny into one of the most desirable and valuable coins ever found. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of people have probably spent without thinking twice, but this particular 1989 AD penny, minted at the Denver Mint, carries a series of unique mistakes that make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. It all starts with the peculiar combination of misstrikes, double dies, off-center impressions, and possibly even an experimental planchette composition that defies ordinary expectations of how a 1989 AD penny should look and feel. The coin was originally struck during the era when the US Mint had fully transitioned from the old bronze alloy to a primarily zinc core with a thin copper coating, but in some extremely rare cases, planchets from previous years or experimental test metals were mistakenly fed into the coin press. Experts believe this 1989 AD cent could have been struck on a leftover bronze planchette or a transitional composition planchette, creating a unique weight difference and distinctive sound when dropped, which instantly distinguishes it from ordinary 1989 AD cents. When collectors examined the coin under magnification, they were stunned to find strong doubling on both the obverse and reverse sides, especially visible in the date 1989, the word liberty, and the famous motto "In God We Trust." The doubling was so sharp and defined that it was clearly a genuine minting error rather than post-mint damage, and that's just the beginning. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial shows ghost-like doubling of the columns and steps, and under close inspection, faint traces of a previously struck design, possibly from an earlier die pairing, are visible, indicating a dramatic die clash or multiple striking misalignment during production. The mint mark itself appears slightly tilted and mispunched, suggesting the mint mark was manually repunched or struck by mistake before the final impression. Some experts even speculate that this coin could have been struck with a misaligned die set that caused the obverse and reverse to be slightly off-center relative to each other, creating that eye-catching lopsided rim that instantly draws attention. What makes the story even more fascinating is the possibility that this coin was produced during a transitional testing phase, where the Denver Mint experimented with different die pressures and strike depths to adjust for wear on older presses, and this particular coin might have been part of that test batch that slipped into circulation unnoticed. The presence of both die cracks and cuds, raised blobs of metal caused by broken die pieces, across the coin's fields adds to its uniqueness, each one marking a specific moment of stress and imperfection in the die's life. One of the most noticeable features is the small raised bump between the date and Lincoln's bust, possibly caused by a die break, which collectors identify as the coin's fingerprint of authenticity. Under specialized lighting, faint traces of doubling even appear within Lincoln's eye and ear, details that are extremely rare to find so sharply preserved after over 3 decades. As if that weren't enough, metallurgical analysis revealed tiny inconsistencies in the surface copper coating, suggesting the coin may have been struck during a time when plating quality control was fluctuating, leading to uneven tones and color variations across the surface. This subtle color gradient from reddish to golden brown is not just visually striking but also an indicator of unique chemical composition and age-related toning that collectors prize. Many coin experts and numismatists who have studied this coin agree that the combination of these errors, double die, off-center strike, die crack, planchet anomaly, misaligned die, and repunched mint mark, is virtually impossible to replicate, making this coin one of a kind. What truly drives its value up to $30 million is not just its uniqueness but also its pristine condition, graded by experts as being in near-perfect mint state, showing crisp details and minimal circulation wear. When such an error coin retains its original luster, it becomes even more desirable to collectors worldwide. The legend of the 1989 AD penny grew rapidly after it was reportedly found by an unsuspecting person going through an old coin jar, who noticed its slightly off-rim design and unusual weight. Upon further inspection, specialists confirmed its authenticity, and its fame skyrocketed across collector forums and auction houses. The rarity of this coin lies not only in the mistakes visible to the naked eye but also in the improbable sequence of minting events that had to align perfectly to create it. A leftover planchet from a previous year, a misaligned die, a double striking during press malfunction, and manual mint mark repunching, each one by itself is uncommon, but altogether they form a masterpiece of minting anomalies. Its historical context adds another layer of fascination, as the late 1980s were a period of major technological transitions in the US Mint, where manual processes were giving way to more automated systems, yet occasional human errors still slipped through, resulting in these miraculous finds. Over time, the coin developed a mystique among collectors, with some believing that only one or two examples exist, and others suggesting that this could be the only verified piece in existence. Auction houses have compared its rarity to famous coins like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, but what sets the 1989 D apart is the convergence of multiple rare attributes all in one specimen. The coin's reverse shows slight weakness in strike on the right side of the Lincoln memorial, possibly indicating die fatigue, while the opposite side remains sharply detailed, a feature that fascinates mint error analysts. Some microscopic analysis even revealed traces of another partial image under Lincoln's shoulder, indicating the coin may have been struck on a previously used planchet, an ultra-rare minting blunder known as a brocage or overstrike. The rim's uneven thickness adds another mysterious element, showing how the die column may have been slightly out of alignment during the striking process, allowing metal to flow irregularly. Every aspect of this coin tells a story of mechanical imperfection turned into numismatic perfection, where every flaw adds to its charm. Its magnetic reaction is also slightly weaker than ordinary zinc pennies, reinforcing the theory that its metallic content may differ subtly from standard mint specifications. For collectors, such subtle deviations in composition or weight can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth millions. The 1989 AD penny's fame grew through social media and collector forums where experts shared microscopic photos, revealing features unseen in any other penny from that year. Its market value soared due to intense competition among elite collectors, investors, and museums seeking to own this piece of minting history. The $30 million valuation reflects not just the coin's physical rarity but also its cultural and historical importance as a reminder that even the smallest details can turn an ordinary object into a treasure. It stands as proof that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions. This extraordinary coin serves as a testament to the artistry, unpredictability, and mechanical complexity of the minting process. Every tiny imperfection, every doubled letter, every crack, and every shift in alignment adds character and narrative. Many believe the coin might one day fetch even more than its current estimated value as awareness grows and collectors continue to appreciate the beauty of rare mint errors. So, next time you glance at a penny, especially one minted in 1989 with a D mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure in your hand. And remember, what looks like an ordinary cent could actually be a hidden gem of history, a mysterious survivor from the chaotic world of minting that turned a 1 cent coin into a $30 million legend.